Welcome back to my course on game theory. This is the second in a lesson on conflict strategy in games where we're really setting a lot of things up. And we start this lesson by a look at the game show Golden Balls, which was popular in the UK over a decade ago now. And a really interesting situation that comes up between Nick and Abraham. It's going to lead off our discussion for today. Let's go to the clip.
Welcome back to Golden Balls. After a run of big cash balls, Abraham and Nick now have £13,600 in front of them. We know they've got it, but the golden question is, can they keep it? Abraham and Nick, you now face a very straightforward choice, but it's a choice that could make one or both of you extra wealthy, but it could also lose both of you everything that you have fought for today. They have to decide to split or steal. Abraham, Nick, you have two final golden balls in front of you, and they are the most important golden balls of the game. You each have a golden ball with the word split written inside. You both have a ball with the word steal written inside. You will know which is split and which is steal because you're going to have a look. If you both pick the split ball, you split the 13,600 and you go home with 6,800 each. If one of you chooses the steal ball and the other chooses the split ball, whoever chooses the steal ball goes home with the whole lot, 13,600. But if you both choose the steal ball, you leave today's game with what you came with, nothing. It's the ultimate test of faith, trust, and let's face it, greed. Take a moment to look at the balls in front of you so you know for definite which is split and which is steal, but obviously keep them concealed from each other. Just have a look. Okay. It's the easiest choice, but the most difficult one. What I want you to do is to spend half a minute talking to each other about what you both should do. Nick, Abraham.
Abraham, I want you to trust me. 100% I'm going to pick the steel ball.
Sorry, you're going to...
I'm going to choose the steel ball.
You're going to take the
I
steel?
want you to do split, and I promise you that I will split the money with you.
Well, after you've took the steel?
Yeah.
You're going to take steel?
Yeah.
I'm going to take split?
Yeah.
So you take the money?
And I will split it with you.
After the show?
Yeah. Abraham, I promise you I'll do that. If you do steal, we both walk away with nothing. I'm telling you 100% I'm going to do it.
I appreciate that. Right, I'll give you another alternative. Why don't we just both pick split?
I'm not going to pick split. I'm going to steal. Abraham, honestly, 100% I'm going to steal.
It's in your nature to steal.
No, I'm honest, and I'm going to tell you...
You're an honest man.
I am. That's why I'm telling you I'm going to steal. If you do split, then I will split the money.
I can't see myself doing that.
Okay, well, I'm going to steal, so we're going to leave with nothing.
Where's your brains coming from? I can't work out...
I know that I'm a decent guy, and I will split the money with you.
Well, we should just both split then.
No, I'm going to do steal.
There is no legal requirement
I know there is.
for him to give you the money.
Of course. If I gave you my word, now let me tell you what my word means.
Okay.
My father once said to me, a man who doesn't keep his word is not a man. He's not worth nothing. Not worth a dollar.
I agree.
So,
Abraham, I'm going to steal. So you've got the choice. You either steal, and we both walk away with nothing, because you know I've told you my intention, and I've told you that I will split the money with you, Abraham.
if I gave you my word that I was going to split, I would split. And you're going to take steal. So
The only way you can guarantee to walk away with 6,800
is by sharing.
to guarantee that you both put the split ball in. And I do now have to push you for a decision. It's a tough one.
We've lost it. We've lost everything.
Okay, lost then.
We're walking away with no money because you're an idiot.
No, that's
You're
not
an
true.
idiot. You're an idiot. That's what you are. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. That's what you are.
This can go on all night, and these people have got to get up for breakfast. Nick, choose split or steal. Ibrahim, choose split or steal. Now, please. Choose a ball.
Right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go with you.
Okay.
I'm going to go with
I promise you I will split it.
You cannot change your balls now. Split or steal? Yes! Congratulations, you have both split and each received £6,800.
Why did you put me through that? Why did you do it for me? You're the worst person I've ever met.
Fantastic clip, really fun clip to watch. And that's a bit of an example of a prisoner's dilemma type game. There's a couple of wrinkles to it, but you have Abraham and Nick competing against each other. And they have these weird incentives here, where if the other player says, I am going to cheat and take all the money, they're going to lose it all. If they cooperate, so they both have to cooperate to get any money, but by cooperating, they're ensuring they get less of a payout than if they just took the money, should the other person choose to cooperate. So pretty interesting dynamics. There are a lot of episodes of Golden Balls available online if you want to watch some other times where people are competing against each other in this scenario. So this is kind of a form of what we would call the prisoner's dilemma game. Before we talk about prisoner dilemma games in general, let's talk about the original prisoner's dilemma. So in the prisoner's dilemma, you have two people separately held by the police. Each is accused of committing a crime, and the same crime. You know, like, hey, we know you were together, we know you're involved in this particular crime. And each person has decision of whether or not to confess to the police that they did this. Now, the police are willing to offer a deal if somebody confesses their role in the particular crime, right? And you can imagine how this goes, right? Police would say, look, come on, cooperate with us, testify, give us some evidence against your your counterpart or your partner, and we can give you a lighter prison sentence on this. So putting a few numbers on this, right? Let's say, look, if the prisoner denies, they're going to get 2 years in prison if the other prisoner denies. 10 years in prison if the other prisoner confesses, right? Like if you're denying the crime but the other person's testifying against you, you're not cooperating and the police are going to throw the book at you and they're going to win. But if a prisoner confesses, okay, if the other person denies, the police will say, okay, we'll let you out after a year, right? You were helpful for us. You're only going to get 1 year. If the other person confesses, look, we got to give you a little bit more time, but look, 5 years instead of 10, you're way better off. So we'll give you 5 years in prison. It's kind of the classic game, and we'll be talking about this quite a bit throughout the course. I wanted to do the initial introduction right now. We'll do more of it within this video, but also in future videos too. So how do we model the prisoner's dilemma game? There's two general methods. There's the normal form, which will involve a payoff matrix, or extensive form, which involves a tree diagram. So normal form, it is, as I mentioned, a game that is written out in a payoff matrix. And we're going to start with normal form for this video. There is a player who will be listed as the actions on a row. There's a player who's listed with the actions on the column. And within there, and then there's the various outcomes available in a game. So we're going to take a moment to write out the game in normal form. If you'd like to take a shot at this, you can go ahead and pause the video right now, and go ahead and just on a sheet of paper or in Word or in Excel, try to write out what this would look like. So I'll give you the moment to pause now, and let's go ahead and talk about it. So you've got prisoner A and prisoner B, right? We haven't given them names, so we'll just say prisoner A and prisoner B, and they each have options of confessing or denying. And so these are the first things you'll need to write down. Prisoner A could confess or deny. Prisoner B could confess or deny. Prisoner A's payoff and prisoner B's. Now, these players will have payoffs. We list the payoff for the row player first. So prisoner A's payoff will be listed first. Prisoner B's payoff will be listed second. We haven't listed the payoffs yet. So confess. If they both confess, well, think back to what we had written down before. The police had said, look, if you confess and the other person confesses, you each get 5 years. So in that cell of the matrix, you would say 5, 5, right? You just write down 5, or if you want to write down 5 years, 5 years. But it's 5 years in prison for A, so you put 5 with a comma and then another 5. If they both deny, right, the police didn't have enough to really go after them too much, so they each get 2 years. If one confesses and one denies, the one who confesses only gets a year in prison. The other one gets 10 years in prison. So here's the full completed payoff matrix for the prisoner's dilemma game, given the numbers that we have put into place. And this is in the form of a payoff matrix. So mentioned there could be normal form or extensive form. Normal form puts a game into a payoff matrix. Extensive form uses a tree diagram or a game tree. Throughout the rest of this course, we will be using tree diagrams a bit more, including some introductory lessons of how to interpret them. As a general rule, with sequential games, tree diagrams are much easier to use. Often with simultaneous, you may prefer a payoff matrix. Okay, we looked at the prisoner's dilemma. We're going to be looking at it again. I'm not going to talk quite as much on some of the technical things we'll be examining, which are like Nash equilibria, dominant strategies. But what would we generally expect with the prisoner's dilemma? Well, each player is going to get fewer years in prison if they choose to confess, regardless of the choice that the opponent makes. So we really would expect both players to confess in this particular game. What is strange about that particular outcome? What makes that a bit strange, what makes this a bit strange is that it's not the top outcome. What makes this a bit strange is it's not the best outcome for the players. Both players could get fewer years in prison if they both denied. Yet there's an incentive to both confess. So the game is not Pareto efficient. And we'll put the payoff matrix back up as well. Right? If they both denied, they'd each only get 2 years in prison. By both confessing, they'll each get 5 years in prison. The outcome that the incentives of the game lead the players to take these choices is not the outcome that's Pareto efficient. Pareto efficiency, the formal definition, I think, gets a little confusing, right? It says there's no other solution that would at least make one player better off without harming somebody else. Basically, a solution is Pareto inefficient if there are obvious better outcomes for everybody. Or maybe some people are tied, but everybody else is better off. It's a very weak form of efficiency, and if you're not hitting Pareto efficiency, something's really, really wrong. Prisoner's Dilemma is not Pareto efficient. Hope you're enjoying this set of videos I'm producing, bringing you through a course with game theory. Please like and subscribe. Click the notifications bell. You'll be notified when new videos come out. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.